All right, guys. We'll come to you with another Guerrilla Boxing talk. So there's been actually like some response because everybody knows on this page that I be pushing David Morell really heavily. I think very highly of his skill set. I think this guy has everything, all the tools at 168 to be like that guy. It's just that he hasn't had the opposition to prove that he's that guy. But I mean, from what we see, everything is there. Everything is there. It's just that with these fighters, like with the Jaron Ennis's, with the Demetrius Andres, with the to a lesser extent, Shakur Stevenson, and also I want to say Devin Haney. We just don't know how good these and also I believe he had Boots in this. I said already, but we don't know how good these guys are. We don't know where these guys' ceilings are gonna stop. And the only way to find out would be for them to fight higher level opposition. Now, the thing is, and this has came to my attention, and I made a video about it, that I think Ronnie Shields, David Morell's trainer, is only looking at the financial side of the fight. Okay, he's not looking at the talent side of the fight. Okay, and because he's not looking at the talent side of the fight, he thinks that like, okay, this fight needs to marinate, but in reality, it really doesn't need to marinate. They can have that fight right now. Truthfully speaking, if they really want the fight, that fight can happen right away. You know what I mean? It can happen, right? So, Ronnie Shields is cool off that fight. But Morell's promoter, though, on the other hand, Morell's promoter is singing a different tune. Morell's promoter said Benavidez would get stopped in 7 or 8 rounds. And this is coming from his promoter, Luis da Cubas Sr. Now, he says even with less experience, he will prevail in that fight. He's like, we have spoken with premier boxing champions, and 100% we love it. Look at Benavidez's record. He hasn't fought anyone that good. He fights small men like David Lemieux. His previous rival was a middleweight. Another was Canelo's sparring partner. Benavidez has been well protected, da Cubas said. And I have to agree with some of his points. I definitely have to agree with some of his points. I definitely agree with some of his points. I'm not going to even cap. Now, he also goes on to say, with the men who they have put him in with, he has closed the show well. Everyone is afraid of him, but he hasn't really beaten anyone big, you could say. I would say the Darrell victory is big. That was a significant victory. We've done the same as Morell. The men he has faced, he's done what he had to do. Now, it also says in Morell's most recent fight with Calvin Harrison, the Cuban boxer took some shots. Da Cubas explains that he doesn't see that happening in a fight against Benavidez. The veteran promoter is backing Morell to end Benavidez within 8 rounds or less. In Morell's last fight, he got hit with some punches that he's not going to receive with Benavidez because he is going to fight him in a different way. He will fight him much more smarter. I can only tell Benavidez's father I can only tell Benavidez's father to study boxing well. His son is a lefty, turn right. He has a tremendous left hook, but he's not going to be able to jab at Morell because Morell is going to take the jab away, and it will be a very interesting fight. And I've been saying this, but these fans, these delusional, I hate to say this word, but I'm just gonna go ahead and say it. These delusional racists and also delusional Chicano fans think that somehow Mexican boxing trumps Cuban boxing or trumps Soviet boxing because the so-called face of boxing is from Mexico, and he was put there and moves carefully along to be in the spot that he was in. But when it really came down to it, Cuban boxing gave him a lesson and Soviet boxing gave him a lesson. The Cuban came from Arslan de Lara, the Soviet came from Dmitry Bivol. And his Mexican boxing couldn't answer to it. So what do you think is going to happen to Benavidez with Morell? In 7 or 8 rounds, we are going to beat Benavidez. The fight will not go beyond that. He has never faced anyone like Morell. He says that he has more experience, but Morell has more than 140 amateur fights. I listened to the comments. That this fight is 50-50 and that Morell is a better boxer, but that Benavidez beats him because of the experience. Showtime executives want Benavidez to fight someone. He beat an old Darrell, but he is a good fighter. So again, it's not the fact that David Morell is afraid or his manager is afraid. It's the fact that Ronnie Shields probably is in it for himself. I said it in the previous video before that Ronnie Shields, because F.A. Ajagba, I think he signed with someone. Yeah, F.A. Ajagba, he signed with someone. And Ronnie Shields did not take too kindly to the person he signed with. Okay? That was the problem. Ronnie Shields had a problem with the person he signed with. And I don't know why there was a problem with the person he signed with. But, I guess it messed some money up. And it made Ronnie Shields leave F.A. Ajagba and not want to train him anymore. Okay. So with this being said, this just goes to show you that it's not David Morell who's afraid of David Benavidez. It's Ronnie Shields who is keeping this fight from happening. The thing is about David Morell, and I've said it before and I'll say it again, this guy has it all. This guy can switch hit. This guy's amateur career is so extensive that, David Morell really wouldn't be or David Benavidez really wouldn't be a problem for him, because he's probably fought someone like David Benavidez in the amateurs before. He's probably fought that type of fighter before. You know what I mean? And David Benavidez, I give respect where respect is due, but at the same time, it's like, you're talking about that you sparred Bivol, and the thing is that you're now kind of hinting at basically that you would mess up plans if you got to fight Bivol, but Bivol would box circles around you, bro. That's the bottom line. Bivol, come on now, man. When Bivol was sparring, he was probably working on things. That's why you spar. You're working on things when you're sparring. You know what I mean? like you're working on things when you're sparring. So yeah, cut that mess out, man. Get real. You have not once heard David Benavidez say he can box. You have not once heard those words, because including in box, what is included in boxing is footwork. That's numero uno, actually. So, man, I don't know if we're gonna get this fight anytime soon. I think pretty much Ronnie Shields is blocking the fight, and I can maybe respect Ronnie Shields as a trainer, but Ronnie Shields has done some questionable things and has messed up some things as well, and has made some bizarre accusations, like the one accusation that Boo Boo actually ducked Jermell Charlo, and it's like, bro, Boo Boo is levels above Jermell Charlo. Okay, he would. Come on now, bro. Be real with yourself. But I mean, it is what it is. We'll see what happens. But again, if I was a betting man, I would say that whatchamacallit would beat Benavidez, and he would do it in a convincing fashion. He would do it in very convincing fashion. And I'm gonna add one more thing. The reason why he maybe got tagged a little bit is because of the simple fact he didn't respect the other guy's power that he was fighting. But with that being said, guys, leave your thoughts, leave your comments. What I had to do is I had to respond to what was basically said. You know what I mean? I had to respond to these accusations that, like, David Morell is afraid of something, when that's not the case at all. But anyhow, Foolish signing out. Leave your thoughts, leave your comments. Anjado.